Ito ang balita ngayon. Viral at trending ngayon sa mundo ng social media ang di umano'y balitang. Ito ang nakaka-proud. Muling pinalakpakan ng marami sa ating mga kababayan, lalo na ng mga Marcos supporters at DDS supporter, si President Bongbong Marcos Jr. Matapos nitong ipagtanggol ang dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte patungkol sa di umano'y pagpipilit ng ICC o ng International Criminal Court para pasukin at imbestigahan ang nooy kampanya ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte patungkol sa Dragon War sa bansa. Ipinagdiinan ni President Bongbong Marcos Jr. na may sariling batas ang Pilipinas kaya di dapat mangialam ang ICC sa kung anumang deliberation patungkol sa nasabing laban kontra droga ng dating administrasyon. Mananatiling patas ang Pangulong Marcos at ang ilan pang kabinete ng kanyang opisina patungkol sa usapin na ito dahil aniya malaki ang responsibilidad ng kasalukuyang gobyerno para puksain ang di umano'y illegal na droga sa bansa. Ayon pa sa kanya, hindi raw dapat bigyan ng spasyo ang ICC sa Pilipinas gayong may sarili namang batas ang ating bansa na umiiral at magpasa hanggang ngayon ay hindi dapat baliwalain ang administrasyon ng nakaraang Pangulo. Samantala, hindi naman mapigilan ng mga netizen na magbigay ng kanilang hinaing at reaksyon patungkol sa balitang ito. Napakahusay magpaliwanag. Mabuhay ka PBBM. Ikaw ang magtatanggol sa ating bansa, lalong-lalo na sa mga kabataan. Salamat mahal naming Pangulong BBM. Dapat lang panindigan natin ang ating batas. May sarili tayong batas, kaya dapat huwag makialam ang ICC. Salute to our President. Good job BBBM. Dapat hindi pasukin ICC sa ating bansa. Nakialam yan, mayroon tayong batas. Mahal naming PBBM, huwag kang papayag na makapasok ang ICC dito sa ating bansa. Wala silang pakialam dito sa ating bansa. We are loving you more each day, our dear President. We are not only proud that we voted you, but we are honored to be Filipino that belong to the 31 million to put you back in leadership. God bless and protect you, PBBM. End quote. Narito ang full video kung saan bumilib at pinalakpakan ng marami sa ating mga kababayan si President Bongbong Marcos Jr. matapos nitong ipagtanggol ang dating Pangulo na si former President Rodrigo Duterte at panindigan na hindi dapat mag-imbestiga at makialam ang ICC ang batas na mayroon ng Pilipinas patungkol sa laban nito kontra droga. Pakinggan at panuorin ang full video. Pero bago ang lahat, kung bago pa lamang kayo sa channel na ito, ay huwag kalimutang i-click ang subscribe at notification bell para mas maging updated pa kayo lalo sa lahat pa ng bagong videos na i-upload namin.
Your speech before you also made positive reference to the Quad and AUKUS, and that follows, I think, from the logic you've just explained about those beyond the Philippines on whom you can rely for security policy support. Your reflections on how the Quad, for example, aids to strategic stability in the region, that would be of interest, I'm sure, to this audience, and within that, your view and vision of your future relationship with Japan.
Well, the Quad certainly is another one of those agrupations that we feel are going to be. It's a partnership between countries that I think, again, if we were to move as one country alone, it would not be as effective as if we approach the problem as part of these political, diplomatic agrupations, even military agrupations that we have put together. So that's again something that is fundamental to the way we try to approach the problems that we are facing. Vis-a-vis the maritime disputes that we have. I have to remind people that these maritime disputes are not only with China. We also have within ASEAN some disputes with our other member countries. But in my view, this applies as well. So these kinds of partnerships, I think, are very, very important. Now, Japan, certainly, I had a meeting with the Prime Minister Kishida, just the other day. And naturally, I think it's no surprise to anyone that they are terribly, terribly concerned, not only of China, but because of the recent events, we have focused on the Taiwan situation, the visit of the United States House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan, sort of highlighted once again the simmering tensions that, as I said, were beneath the surface, but now have surfaced out into the open. But if you remember, if we go back maybe 6 months, it was North Korea that we were all very worried about. And it is exactly that, that I think that aspect of it that Japan is also worried about, because when you have missiles flying over in your skies and into the sea, it's not so very surprising that Japan will be alarmed. And again, that is part of the relationship that we have between ally countries. Japan is an ally. Japan is a friend and a partner in many, many ways, again. And that, again, we feel that we should strengthen that and that we continue to promote that partnership. The difference between right now, anyway, between the conflicts or the disagreements between China and the rest of the countries around the area and Korea is Korea has threatened to use nuclear weapons. And that would be a complete disaster, and that there is no way that the Philippines will be somehow exempt from that sort of conflict. And it's very interesting to watch what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. And it's very worrisome, because if there is a possibility that nuclear weapons suddenly become, even tactical nuclear weapons, not strategic nuclear, but tactical nuclear weapons become part of that equation, then we will see the normalization of nuclear weapons nuclear weapons will become conventional weapons. And perhaps that will encourage other nuclear powers to exercise that nuclear option, which, as we all know, is going to be is really end of world scenario. And to take the point a little further, we are beyond the Cold War. I do not subscribe to the spheres of influence like we had during the Cold War. So we see that nuclear weapons should not be. We should abandon the idea of nuclear weapons as deterrence. And to really work towards bringing down the stockpiles of nuclear weapons in the world, and with, of course, the ideal result of them being taken away and no one having any nuclear weapons. Now, that's easier said than done. That's easier said than done, because each country that has nuclear weapons have a different view on the subject and feel that they must have it because they have enemies that they feel that need to be deterred. So that is, I think, where we if we take it that's as far as we can take the analysis of the conflict. It's something that it is something that we pray for. But the way towards that end certainly is not clear, as there are so many varied and different views on the subject vis-a-vis the situations of those countries that do have nuclear stockpiles. So this is the thinking that we have developed, and this is the thinking that we have tried to espouse to our friends and neighbors.
Your comments just now about the legitimization of the use of tactical nuclear weapons, I think, are extraordinarily important. The more of us in the international community who are serving political leaders like yourself who make that clear to our friends in Moscow, the better. If we cross that threshold, we're into a world of different pain. Domestic politics, 60% of the vote in your election. Pretty impressive. The best I ever did was 53. So you're obviously a better campaigner than me, my friend. So, but on domestic politics, and I always head in this direction with all of our guests. I had the Chinese Foreign Minister here yesterday. Under President Duterte, there were concerns raised about human rights in the Philippines, and particularly in his drugs campaign. Some questions today about legal actions against your Nobel laureate, Maria Ressa. And then even the State Department report, annual report, refers to several hundred continued political prisoners. So your reflections, I noticed what you said before about unifying all Filipinos. Could you give us your reflections on the future of human rights in the Philippines?
Well, the argument, or rather the discussion about human rights in the Philippines in the past few years has really derived from the anti-drug war that President Duterte undertook. And as I come into office, you look and you see we cannot stop the drug war. The problem continues to exist. What we can do is to examine and learn lessons from the experience from the past administration. And to go into a little more detail, I think we have found, it is certainly my view, that enforcement, which has been the part of the drug war that has been most vigorously pursued by President Duterte, only gets you so far. And my approach is slightly different. And we look at the drug problem in the Philippines, and it is a significant one. There are approximately, I suppose, according to official statistics, close to 4.5 million actual addicts in the Philippines, and that the corrosive effect of on society, on criminality, on the drug syndicates, etc. Even the politicization of the whole drug syndicates and their networks is something that we still have to deal with. And so perhaps we should look at it, instead of just enforcement, which will continue, but in a more focused way. I tell when I first came to my first command conference with our policemen, and I said, we will adjust. Let us adjust our focus, and let us also look at prevention. Let us education to our young people to say that this is a dead end. This will get you absolutely nowhere. It will get you put in jail. It will get you killed. And even if it does not do that, this will take away your future. And second part of that is cure. To be more sensitive and more sympathetic to those who actually have gotten caught up in this lifestyle. And so that is something that we are now promoting. We are trying to learn which are the best methods now to pull our victims, really is what they are, pull them out of that culture and to help them start again and to live a good life as good and constructive members and contributing members of society. Now, as to the enforcement, to put it very bluntly, I simply told them, look, I'm not interested in the kid who makes 100 pesos a week selling weed. That's not the person that I want you to go after. I want you to go after people who, if we get them, if we neutralize them, we put them in jail, we put them away, whatever it is, will make an actual difference. So that the supply of drugs, the system of distribution, the system of importation of drugs, because much of it really does come from abroad, that will actually make a difference. It will put a stop to it. And that's what we are working on right now. So those are the different elements of those three elements of the anti-drug effort of this government. Those are, the focus has certainly changed, and even the methodology has changed.
At yun na nga mga kababayan, ano na ang masasabi mo? Kung mayroon kayong hinaing at komento tungkol sa video na ito, please comment down below. Pag-uusapan natin yan sa comment section. At kung nagustuhan nyo ang video, ay huwag kalimutang mag-iwan ng like at i-share na din para mas marami pang makaalam sa makabuluhang video na ito. Maraming salamat.